What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Saturday night, a great weekend. The draft has commenced. Undrafted free agents are being signed. I got to study some of these guys, take a look at some things, and whoo, what a wild, not just past few days, but past few months here with the sicko season, draft season, everything. Pretty wild, and I love every second of it. The Eagles walk away with a pretty damn good draft, so we're going to have a full recap of everything tomorrow. I'll do that one live. This is not a live video. This is a little recap of everything that went down, and, well, I'll show you here. Obviously, yesterday with that, we started off with a trade, moving up one spot to ensure no one else took our guy, Jahad Campbell there, giving up that pick 164, but we talked about it how we will acquire more. He sure did, but you get yourself a stud. We'll talk about him. Well, there's already a breakdown of Heat, and then, of course, our second-round pick, Andrew Makuba. Go check those out. Love those picks. Can't wait to see what they do. But then yesterday, after that second round, we moved back in the third round, and then we ended up just moving out of the third round as a whole. So there were breakdowns of that. Go check those videos out. I'll have a full breakdown live tomorrow, but here is what we're talking about today. So we started things off with pick 111, Ty Robinson, a beast. And we'll break down these players in a second, but just giving you a little recap of what went down in what order. And then we ended up trading pick 130, acquiring 145 and 207. We then used our next pick to grab McWilliams out of UCF, pick 145. So get ourselves a corner, and then we follow it up with a linebacker. So you get a couple of linebackers. Campbell, I'm sure, will be used on the edge as well. But this is a guy that can definitely help you on special teams, maybe as linebacker depth here. But pick 161, that is who we nabbed there. And then we end up trading back in the fifth round, trading 165 to get 181, and then a sixth-round pick in 209. So that was the last trade. A lot of people complain about all the trades that were being made. There was only 5 total. We did 9 last year, so not really a big deal. But then we continued drafting, and we got Drew Kendall at pick 168. Love that effing pick. We'll talk about that here in a second. Then they follow it up with a quarterback to start their picks in round 6. So we end up getting, Kyle McCord here, who grew up an Eagles fan, Jersey kid, and broke Donovan McNabb's records. I think an exciting player we'll talk about here. And then Miles Hinton in round 6 at pick 191. You get yourself a monster of a man. Let Jeff Stoutland work with him, and we'll see what he can get out of him. And then you got Cameron Williams, who fell in this draft, whether that's due to his injury. He's young, though, and I think he's very talented, so high upside. Another good pick by the Eagles, 6'6", 317 pounds. And then the last pick, Antoine Powell-Ryland. And this is a kid who had 16 sacks. He was third in the FBS last year, so I'm excited. Great size, really fun to watch. So we'll see this team, and now you can see a little bit more how the depth chart looks, and we'll bring in undrafted free agents, and I'll move some of this stuff around and the colors and all that great stuff. But you can see the guys in green who we signed, but the rookies are in green with the outline of white, so they kind of stick out there. But McCord there, then you see Hinton and Cameron Williams can help out on the offensive line, so got a lot of depth there now. Drew Kendall there at center. We got some depth in places we needed. So really, really love that. Thought we did great on the offensive side of the ball because we already got a lot of talent there. Didn't really need to add much, just needed some offensive line depth. Did all of that and a backup quarterback to compete with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. All about it. Then on the defensive side of the ball, adding 6 players, you get Ty Robinson, who can be depth. He is a versatile D lineman we'll talk about. Can't wait. Antoine Powell-Ryland on the edge. So adding to the mix of all the players you've already added. Then linebacker, you've got Campbell and Mondin brought in. Hell yeah. McWilliams provides depth, can help out at nickel there. And then Makuba, who can play safety and nickel. And, man, really excited to see what happens with him this summer if we try him at nickel or Coop outside or all the different things they can do. Excited to see, but love Coop at nickel, so I don't know. We'll find out. And then nothing really affected the special teams department there. But that is what the team currently looks like. And, now they can sign players and it won't affect the compensatory pick formula. So if they feel they want to add Justin Simmons or anybody else that's out there, we'll be signing undrafted free agents. So we will continue to add to this roster. I'll keep you updated with all of that stuff. But let's talk about some of these day 3 picks, and I'll go into detail about all these guys. And then tomorrow we'll have even more of an in-depth with all of these players. And then yesterday's the whole thing. And we'll talk about some of the undrafted kids we know, all that great stuff. So starting us off was Ty Robinson. And we talked about him. I think somebody that lost a little bit of weight there, runs a 4.83. He's a freak of an athlete for a guy that is his size. I think just to watch him, the way he moves, he's got a great first step. He can bull rush people. I think that he's somebody that, when we talk about playing nose tackle from, 0 tech, 1 tech, 2, 3, 4, he can do it all, dude. And I think, that versatility is going to go far, especially in a defense like Vic Fangio's. So I think for me, he just needs to work on some things with his pass rush. I think he looked really good at times. In the NFL, he's going to definitely have to, work on some things with his hands and just look, he's young, coming out of college here. So I think you never know, but he did spend 6 years there. So he's got high upside. I think somebody for me, 7 sacks, 37 tackles, 13 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble, 4 passes deflected last year. That's pretty damn good. He is a beast of a man, and I can't wait to see what weight he tries to play at in the NFL and what he can do here for the Eagles. Very excited for this kid. He's got a toughness. That's what we're looking for in these players, and most of them have it. So let's effing go. And then you had McWilliams here, who we talked about with that 4.41 speed. A very exciting player. He plays with, we talk about someone that needs that vicious streak, and I think this is that dude. In the way he tackles, he's got return ability as well. He didn't really do much last year in it, so I didn't add those stats, but he's got ball skills. To be able to return the ball, you better be able to catch that ball. But he's somebody that's really fun to watch, that speed, and I think he just kind of needs to get a little tougher. He's 23 years old, but he's 5'10", 191. I think, just working on some things, the way he does his game in the NFL just needs refined. And you never know. With a guy with his speed, his toughness, that can go far in the NFL. So regardless of where you're drafted, round 5 or whatever, I would love to see him step it up, starting out maybe in the special teams department, just helping as a gunner or whatever. But excited to have McWilliams here. McWilliams. And then you got Smile Munden Jr. here out of Georgia with the next pick. And I thought this was a good pick. 6'2", 224 for a linebacker. You hear, oh, that's too small. Look, man, this is a different NFL. And I think that, a guy like Smile Munden, he brings such a crazy versatile skill set. Like, they used him at nickel. Like, they used him in the box, and he was, rushing the quarterback at times. He's just a good athlete. He's got 4.58 speed, which is good for a linebacker. And when you watch him, he's really got some damn good game speed. And I just really enjoyed watching him. Not like the greatest in coverage, but really just an athletic piece that if you have someone like Vic Fangio who could teach this kid, I just think, he's got fluid hips. He's just a really, really fun player to watch. One of those sideline linebackers that can go out, smack somebody. But he did have some injuries, his foot, his ankle injuries, that kind of, made him drop. But being a little smaller as well, I think it's okay in today's NFL, but you do want to try to bulk up, muscle up. And he's only 22 years old. Like, he definitely can do that. And he's a Georgia dog. He's going to be with his guys. That's going to pump him up. So hopefully, he's helping out on special teams, whatever, right off the bat, providing depth. We have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and Dallas Gant, but we got Jahad Campbell. We'll see how the Eagles want to use him with Nakobe Dean banged up. Those guys might be called upon to play, whether that's linebacker or special teams. So hoping the best for him here. Now, Drew Kendall, one of my top fits here this year. We talked about, I had him projected around 3 to 5 there. But, dude, the fact that he was able to, fall down all the way into the 5th round is as just sign of Howie doing great things. And we know this stuff happens. But pick 168 here was Drew Kendall. And this is a dude that I just enjoyed watching because he can pull well. He's got that toughness I'm looking for. I'm no genius when it comes to offensive linemen, but I just thought for a man his size, he really just he played well, man. I really enjoyed watching him just move his eyes and be able to see where the next blocker just bouncing off from guy to guy. He just really, I thought, did pretty well. But he's got short arms is one of the complaints. He does get bullied a little bit. I think he needs a little work, but that's what Jeff Stoutland University is all about, baby. Only gave up 1 sack, 1 hit. I thought he did pretty damn well. I like the kid, but just looking for anything for why he would fall, I guess that could be it. But to me, kid's got a bright future, and his shuttle time was 4.51. This kid can move. He pulls well, like I was mentioning, and that's something that will be looked upon. And I think that Jeff Stoutland will definitely try to work him in at guard. He can provide depth for both, maybe compete with Steen and Keegan and everybody else at guard there. So I like the pick. And I welcome it because we knew the Eagles would be looking at the line for both offense and defense. Now, up next was Kyle McCord, who, some people, why would you take quarterback? That's what the Eagles do, man, and they will always do. It's quarterback factory. But, dude, you've got someone to compete with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That's great. Maybe he does really well in the preseason. Someone trades for him, whatever. The kid grew up an Eagles fan. 6'3", 218. He was really fun to watch. As I just mentioned, breaking records in the ACC, doing all kinds of stuff, breaking Donovan McNabb's records. Really fun to watch, man. He has a really quick release. That's, a gunslinger. Deep throws are awesome. He's really good at the short throws, in a middle, intermediate kind of throws. He's just, dude, he's pretty fun to watch. Go watch him. And, I'd mentioned earlier today when we drafted him, his deep ball, but he can do a lot. And, not the most athletic or fast guy or anything like that, but I did mention, he can escape the pocket and do things. But you see here, 34 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, got sacked 27 times. He fumbled the ball 5 times, had the ball knocked out, but he didn't lose any of them. So I like that. He had a 66 completion percentage rating, a 90.5 PFF grade. So they really liked his game with that 4,779 yards there. But look, a project pick. He spent 3 years at Ohio State and then went and balled out at Syracuse. But I think it's a no-brainer here. If maybe you could trade him or Dorian Thompson-Robinson, one of them. You've got multiple quarterbacks on this team, and that's a smart move always because that's one of the obviously probably most premier positions in the NFL. So you never know. Somebody comes knocking, needs somebody, or wants somebody real bad, what you could get in return. Now, after that pick 181, we waited 10 picks and got another offensive lineman, and Miles Hinton is a monster, 6'7", 323 pounds, and oh man, you just talk about this dude's size and winning a championship, with Michigan there. I think this is a kid who's the sky's the limit in Jeff Stoutland University, right? But predominantly just played. He played left tackle last year. He's played some right tackle as well. He was starting most of the time there. So he's got a candidate to be that swing tackle, but maybe just like with Mekhi Becton, Stoutland tries him at guard, and well, you never know. I think that this is a kid that he's got the tools to be something. So maybe, you find something, excuse me, I just can't talk. Maybe you find something deep within this kid, and if anyone's going to do it, that's going to be Jeff Stoutland. So he's got championship pedigree. I'm all about it, baby. Only allowed 1 sack there in 578 snaps, 265 of those passing snaps. So all about it, man. And then we followed that pick up at pick 207, at the end of the 6th round, getting Cameron Williams, who a lot of people felt could have gone higher. I had him a lot higher ranked. I think 3rd or 4th round grade, or maybe 4th or 5th round, whatever it was. But either way, getting him in round 6, and I think, he had an injury. I think maybe it was his knee last year, but this is somebody that, he's a good pass blocker, good run blocker. I think better at pass blocking, but he's still very young. Man, sorry, I've been talking so much these past few days on these shows. I'm losing my voice, but he's got some great power, and he moves for his size. Now, I know that 40 time doesn't excite you, but you got to watch his game, dude. Just how big he is, 6'6", 317, the way he moves, it's exciting, man. And he's just a monstrous man that plays with, we're talking about being vicious. That's what we want. And, dude, that's what we got for him. And he's young, dude. So I think he definitely needs someone like Jeff Stoutland. He came out of the draft, after 3 years, didn't, play his senior year. So bold move. He did allow 5 sacks. So he's got, things to work on. But to me, this is a diamond in the rough kind of guy that you could have found here. I'm all about it. And then the final pick of the day, Powell-Ryland out of Virginia Tech there, and spent time at Florida before transferring to Virginia Tech. And I think Powell-Ryland, with those 16 sacks, we talk about third in the FBS. He's got 4.69 speed, but if you watch him, dude, he's another one of those guys that, that's good speed, actually. I know, you think of guys like Hassan Reddick, and you think everyone should be, fast as like 4.4s, but no, man, that's good speed for him. And, I think he's got great athleticism. He was really fun to watch. And I think, even I had as a higher grade than 6th round. So, but he is one of those vicious, violent kind of guys that we're talking about, and uses his hands well. I like his pass rush game. I think, his tackling is great. These are the things I'm looking for in an end. And, he definitely, I think, to me, could work on a few things, going against some of these bigger dudes in the run game. But other than that, I honestly saw some things about him having short arms, things like that. That's fine. I really think this kid could be a steal in this draft. 19 tackles for a loss with those 16 sacks. He had 50 pressures, 3 forced fumbles, 3 recovered. He was really fun to watch, and I thought his game was something to really be excited about. Now, I think he definitely struggled a little bit in the run with certain things, so a rotational piece right now, but that's all he needs to be, dude. We've got a lot of edge guys, so he's not needed right away. Hopefully he can make the squad. If not, maybe the practice squad. But this year was kind of like that luxury, right? You see all the picks we had, 10 picks. Not all of them are going to make this team because you had so many. And I'm sure they try to package and trade some or try to get picks next year, but they made do with what they had, and Howie did really well. These are guys that are all going to compete, and, they all have a chance as we look at this, the picks. But the depth chart, you got those offensive linemen. Steen will get pushed with, the free agents. I think we really did well this offseason, adding guys and ensuring this is still the best offense in the league. And I think, we're going to ensure that for the future. And then, on the defensive side of the ball, holy hell, man. I think, Makuba and Campbell are definitely going to have big roles, but Ty Robinson is really going to be someone that I think could have a bright future. Powell-Ryland, maybe he beats out Patrick Johnson. Maybe they get rid of Bryce after June 1st when it doesn't cost as much. So definitely some possibilities. McWilliams brings some depth at corner. Herschel, I know. He's letting me tell you that I'm giving this. I forgot to give you my grade here, but I'll give you the full grade tomorrow on the entire draft. But today's grade, I thought overall I'd give it an A because he didn't do anything he didn't have to. How he moved back, got some picks when he needed to, and ensured we had depth and we had actual battles at depth. We know who most of our starters are, and some of these guys we already drafted that will be replacing people. So we need the depth to be competing. We can't just have people complacent. So adding depth where it's needed, I'm all about it. But those were all the day 3 picks. I'll be back tomorrow with a recap of the full draft. We'll talk about some of these undrafted free agents. I'll keep you up to date with all that stuff. I'll keep posting about the undrafted free agents tonight, but that's all I've got for you video-wise. I'll be back tomorrow, but if you have any questions, anything you could reach out. You need something else, I'm always available to you guys. I love each and every one of you. I try to be there for you as much as I can. I hope you enjoyed all this draft stuff. We'll recap it, give a full grade for the draft, talk about some of the positions I think maybe we could sign or trade, whatever, undrafted people, all of it. We'll talk about that here, finish up the weekend. But have yourselves a great Saturday night. Hope you enjoyed the draft, had yourselves a good time. I had a great time with all of you that tuned into these live streams. Hope you enjoyed those and the breakdowns. Let me know down below. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Anything you can do to support the channel, greatly appreciated. But have yourselves a great rest of your night. Until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!